green flag comes out, and we are underway.
Oh, no! And they hit. Oh, and now trouble. Oh, yeah.
Overturn 5 known as Madness.
Oh, it will work.
Oh.
And to China Beach, Gene Martin taking a look to the inside.
It's the National Championships here at the beautiful Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, the 2012 NASA Championships presented by Toyo Tires. Alongside John Lindsay, my name is Rob Klepper as we get set for another national championship race to crown 5 national champions. John, Performance Touring is up next.
Yep, Performance Touring, and again, this is our points-based series where we have, I believe, PTB, C, D, E, and F. So these cars are all classified in base classifications by Dr. Greg Greenbaum, and then they add points up, and that's where they end up. So this is a great group of production-based cars, and some pretty close racing here today in our Performance Touring B, C, D, E, and F race.
We'll start with our starting grid in PTB, Performance Touring B, as cars will begin to make their way out onto the racetrack. 4 cars in PTB looking for the national championship. In the 707 on the pole, it is Eddie Sidauskas. To the outside of row number 1, the 35 of Kevin LeClaire. Row 2, the 25X of Richard Baldwin, and the 332 of Steve Walker. We'll move now to Performance Touring C, PTC, the 49 of Emilio Cervantes, the 8 of Kevin Bohm, the 65X, 2-time CMC national champion Anders Schablom, and the 5 of Dennis Holloway.
PTD, we pick up with Eric Ross. Next we have Joshua Allen, then Mark Domo, followed by Andrew Salzano. Next up, Gregory Peluso, then Lee Papa George, Dan Harding, Paul Alexandri, Colin Botha, and Ben Anderson. Next class up is Performance Touring E. Xavier Calderon leads them out, followed by Kyle Webb, then Eric Waddell, Jonathan Miller, Marcelo Vine, Jim Finiello, then Team KTM Racing, and my old friend John Bowles is the last, or not the last, but right there in PTE.
And your final division on the racetrack, the PTF cars, the 777 of Michael Weber, the 81 of Walter Carlos, the 9 of Cale Phillips, followed by the 17 of Melissa Davis, and the 14 of Tony Lee. So those are your starters here for this national championship. And before we get going, let's go back down to Jeremy Scott.
Thanks, Rob. One driver to watch out for is Ben Anderson in the 95. Now, he's in Performance Touring C. Talked to him earlier in the 95 Automotion.TV Mazda. He didn't make any of the qualifying races, but in yesterday's fun run, he was 0.2 of a second quicker than everybody else. Watch for him to go up near the front and challenge in Performance Touring C, guys.
Well, thank you, Jeremy Scott. And yeah, we'll have to pass a few cars to challenge for the lead in PTC. And you mentioned some of the differences of the PT class, and it's a really cool class. You get a lot of vehicles out there, a lot of different divisions. So there's a lot to choose from.
Really, if you have any kind of car and you want to build it up any different way that you please, you can really, kind of game it around whatever you want to do in Performance Touring. You can do it your way and see if you have the magic formula and the magic car that's going to work for the Performance Touring segment there. We have everything from first-gen Mazda RX-7s, brand new Civics you see there, an MX-5, all kinds of cars. We, of course, see the RX-8 there in the Mothers Polishes, Waxes, Cleaners livery. That's part of a big team that the gentlemen from Mothers bring out to us, and we certainly appreciate their support all year long. And they have a lot of fun with us racing, and again, all kinds of different formulas. The Mothers team is a great example where they have a bunch of RX-8 Mazdas, and they prepare them in different trim levels so they can compete in different classes. So they add parts, delete parts, weight, little things like that. But you can see the Mazda RX-8 is actually a fairly popular choice here on the Performance Touring grid.
You see the cars lining up single file and shortly going into double file side by side as we get set for the start. One flag flying start here for PT B, C, D, E, and F. You see the pace vehicle out there working through turn number 1 into the keyhole as cars cleaning off their tires there and getting some heat built into them as they get set to try and win a national championship.
And you can see Eddie Sidauskas there maybe looking for a little another Shawshank Redemption, shall we say, or Mid-Ohio Redemption from the Honda Challenge race where he was running strong and then fell back a little bit. But he's right up front here alongside another Honda, that Acura right there. So we'll see if Eddie Sadowskis can bring home a championship.
So Sadowskis alongside Kevin Leclerc on the front row as they work their way through Keyhole onto the back straightaway.
And again, look at the variety there. You see an Infiniti G20, a Neon, a Protege, all kinds of great cars, and just about anything you can think of to race, we've got a home for it here at NASA.
So they get lined up side by side down the back straightaway through the kink. As we await the green flag, it is out, and we are racing here. Performance Touring headed through the grass, bumping and banging as the green flag comes out.
Oh man, that looks like the rental car scene from Days of Thunder with Anders Schablom there giving a little fender to Emilio Cervantes.
He had all fours, it looked like, off the racetrack, and maybe the scenic route or the off-road version of Mid-Ohio, the fastest way here down the back straightaway for that 65 car of Anders Schablom. And another car very off the pace there, and two cars off the pace, and that 65 car was flying one into the fence. Gets the right front into the fence there just a little bit. Don't know if it's enough to slow him down, but nonetheless.
Looks like that was a 26 of Colin Bothan. He popped the wall there, and the car rode up a little bit. So I know from seeing it a couple of times that CRX axles can be a little fragile, so he may be out now. And there's Jeremy Crozet yet again, battling with Emilio Cervantes.
Jeremy Crozet back out onto the racetrack, a two-time winner this weekend, picked up the Spec Z National Championship as we got another one off the racetrack. Crozet also won yesterday in Honda Challenge 2.
I can't believe he's out there after getting worked over by the lack of power steering in the Spec Z, and here he is trying to do it again. Iron Man.
Steve Walker there in the silver 332, trying to the inside of. Now a three-car battle as Kevin Leclerc leads him down into turn number one. A great move down into turn number two now in the keyhole.
Use that four-wheel drive. Get out of there. The Evo's got four-wheel drive. Keep on the gas. Keep on the gas. Good job.
And that is the 332 of Steve Walker. Just mentioned him through the sand back onto the racetrack. And here we go. Back up front for the lead. Leclerc in that 35 car on the left of your screen. And there goes Anders Schablom in that yellow car.
Looks like Kevin Boehm has the lead now. He took it in that RSX Acura there. Got by Eddie Sadowskis, and then we have another Acura there. That's, I believe, hold on, we're checking our charts. That's probably Kevin Leclerc right there, right behind.
And Schablom there in, getting very loose on the racetrack in that yellow Ford Mustang.
Now, interestingly, Anders has had to change his tire selection up a bit to run in the PT class. I was watching him during the Wednesday practice sessions. It looks like we have a report that number 35 there, Kevin Leclerc, is starting to dump some fluid, so he may get ready to be done blowed up, and we'll see how that plays out. Report coming in
right now. Crozet very close to the back bumper there of Kevin Leclerc, who gets off the pace and now maybe feeds Crozet a little wheel there as they come through the final turn and back onto the front straightaway. The 49 car into the mix, Emilio Cervantes as well. So up front, we saw Eddie Sadowskis up there in the 707. Sadowskis leading now PTB, Leclerc second, Steve Walker third. That's your top three right now in PTB. And Kevin Boehm in the 08 leading PTC. There's the 49 of Cervantes currently running second. So he's actually right behind that 35 car of Leclerc.
And this shot shows all of our PTC front runners there. You've got Kevin Boehm a little bit out of the shot. Oh no, there he comes right back in. And then we have Jeremy Crozet right there, as well as Anders Schablom. So this is a really good race here for our Performance Touring C National Championship.
And it looked like Schablom just got by the 25 of Crozet, who's right behind him. That big Ford Mustang, and off of Madness they go.
That's an interesting contrast right there. A Honda CRX racing a Ford Mustang? You got to be kidding me.
It's almost like Crozet can jump up on the rear deck lid there and just ride it out, because a lot smaller race car versus a lot bigger race car, and they're racing for position in the same class.
And that's really the beauty of Performance Touring is, again, we have something where all the different formulas have been equalized to work. It's very small, short wheelbase, front drive, front engine car, front engine, rear wheel drive, big car. Probably a good 800 pounds worth of difference in the weights of those two.
And it looked like Joshua Allen there in the 27X out in front in PTD, Performance Touring D, the 27X car.
That's a Mazda MX-5 Cup car, I believe, in the Mothers, Polishes, Waxes, Cleaners livery. Joshua Allen, number 27X, having a good run there. Started in second position in PTD and is now in the lead of Performance Touring D.
Picked up the qualifying win on Friday, ran fourth on Thursday. Regular in the SoCal region out of Laverne, California. So he is your leader in PTD. Then Eric Ross, Mark Domo, your top three. As they work their way down the back straightaway through the kink. In front of all the fans here as they head up to Madness. The elevation changes. To me, one of the coolest parts about the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, and of course I just love the term China Beach down there, even though you don't want to be in China Beach with the race car. It's cool to drive by it there and see all the fans up on top of Madness.
So we're seeing Emilio Cervantes there, P2 and PTC. Looks like he is actually battling with someone in another class. That's Kevin LeClaire in the Performance Touring B.
Yeah, so Cervantes there in the orange number 49 car, right behind Leclerc in the 35.
And we've just gotten a message from Timing and Scoring that Michael Weber has set a new track record of 147.951 in PTF.
Weber won on Thursday and ran second on Friday, so has been very fast all week long.
Well, and Timing and Scoring is back on the hotline with another PTC track record for Kevin Bohm. 138.122 new track record for Kevin Bohm.
So the 99 of Kyle Webb, then the 9 PTE car of Xavier Calderon, the 76 on the racetrack, running through turns 1 and headed over. That is Lee Papa George, PTD competitor. So right now, as you see the 99 of Kyle Webb leading PTE, followed by the 9 car of Xavier Calderon. I believe he got a little wide there in through the keyhole. Maybe he lost a little ground to the 99 of Webb. Oh, there he is, the black car, second. That is Calderon, straight number 9. Webb out of Centerville, Ohio. Ran third in the national championships last year here at Mid-Ohio. And a Mazda Miata. Not a Chevy Corvette.
Not a Dodge Viper.
Or a Dodge Viper.
Oh, a little wide.
A little wide on the racetrack.
Nice recovery.
Yeah, I believe that is the 25 car. Richard Baldwin, PTB driver, 25X. Just under 30 minutes to go here in this national championship race. A great battle here in PTE. Kyle Webb in the 99 and Calderon now on his rear bumper. The 99, the white car, followed by the black and white number 9, and I believe the 133, Eric Waddell, making a move on the 9 car. Waddell taking over the spot, so he goes from third up to second here in PTE, and now is trying to run down Kyle Webb for the lead. So the battle in PTE heats up as they cross the stripe. There they are, 1-2, nose to tail. The 47, that is John Bowles through the sand trap right here in front of us at the start-finish line. You can see the smoke there. I don't know where he came from, but he goes blowing right in front of us here through the sand trap, back onto the racetrack as this race heats up again for the lead, the 99 and the 9 in PTE.
Looks like Xavier Calderon kind of is playing a little strategy here. He hung back, let everything get sorted out, and now he is going after Kyle Webb big time. We'll see if that CRX has a little more sauce than the Mazda. Looks like it does. It looks like he's pulling around that outside, trying to get the preferred line going into the Madness Complex, and it's a drag race. And looks like we may have Eric Waddell also coming in and trying to participate a little bit in this drag race.
PTE 99, Webb on the outside. Guys driving off the racetrack, and a new leader on the top side of Madness.
Wow.
Great move by Xavier Calderon. Check that, Eric Waddell. Eric Waddell making the move.
Wow.
Calderon falls back to third, was running second. Waddell gets by him. Wow. Kyle Webb falls back to second. This is a great race in Performance Touring E, and look at that. He is checking out.
And they are close. I think the CRX may be proving to be a good chassis here. We saw the CRX take the win in Honda Challenge 2, and of course Jeremy Cressette wheeling his pretty hard out there. And oh, look at this.
Now,
this is going to be a little bit of a factor. Oh, and that's a little insertion there. Oof.
Eric Waddell making a move there as he crosses the stripe.
And Timing and Scoring has let us know that Eric Ross just set a new PTD track record of 139.026.
So Kyle Webb running in second, the blue and white number 99 now feeling pressure as they race down into Keyhole, new leader. Some great battles on the racetrack. We saw Waddell in the 133. We saw Calderon in the 9. Webb in the 99. Marcelo Vine now up into the mix in the 9X car. So as these guys make their way down the back straightaway, who can outbrake who? Can Kyle Webb do it again down here at the bottom of Madness? No, it will not happen.
We had a question from the chat box about a quick explanation of how to classify our PT classes. Well, we talked about this a little bit earlier, but every car that you can think of is assigned a base classification of an alphabetical number or an alphabetical letter, P, T, E, or A through F. And then as cars accrue more points, every time you get another 20 points, you will bump up another letter. So that's how we do it. You can see it all if you click on the rules section at NASAProRacing.com or visit PerformanceTouring.com, and we can explain that a little bit to you. You can play around with it.
There is our overall leader, I believe, the 08, Kevin Bohm.
Another report from Timing and Scoring. Emilio Cervantes just set a new track record for PTC of 137.262.
So Bohm in the 8 car, leading PTC, and your new overall leader, red and white 08. Nice little Acura there. Current point leader in the Midwest and the Great Lakes regions, ran second the qualifying events from right here in the Buckeye State. There you see the 707 of Eddie Sadowskis.
And here comes Emilio Cervantes. He wants to get by Eddie so he can go after Kevin Bohm.
Cervantes second right now behind Bohm in PTC.
And again, this is one of those Super Miatas that also is set up for endurance racing with us at the 25 Hours of Thunderhill, and this car I think has been very successful in the local Southern California series with Emilio Cervantes and his crew behind the wheel. Looks like he's going to get inside of Sadowskis here, give him a shot to go after Kevin Bohm.
Well, that's actually second in PTB and second in PTC, not racing each other, but nonetheless trying to get by one another to try and run down the leader in their respective class. So they go side by side down in turn 1, and he will safely make the pass. The 49, Cervantes, gets by the 707 of Sadowskis. And now smooth sailing, trying to run down Kevin Bohm, leading PTC.
Now, interestingly, Cervantes' fast time in this race is actually a second quicker than Bohm, so he's right there, and he's going to be right on Bohm's bumper pretty quick.
So right now in PTC, Kevin Bohm, Emilio Cervantes, and Anders Schablom. That is your top 3, the big yellow Ford Mustang for Schablom. Right now running in the podium spot in third, as we still see Cervantes there in the 49, trying to reel in Kevin Bohm.
And all the races in these PT classes are very close. PTF has a bit of a gap opening up between the leader and the rest of the class, but all PTB, D, C, D, E, everybody's very close right now.
Well, you can see as Cervantes slowly reeling in the 08 as they come underneath the Honda Bridge, and right there, the distance maybe 10 car lengths at this point as they head into Thunder Valley. There is Schablom in the 65 Ford Mustang. About 23 minutes left in this national championship event.
And you could see Schablom get a little bit loose there, so he's running street type tires, and Jeremy Cressette with a big smoker. Oh, he done blowed up. Jeremy just blew up spectacularly.
And Jeremy Crozet comes to a stop and back on the gas. So,
well, I think Jeremy was playing a smart move there. He knew he was just about to stall in the middle of the track. Got out of there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to tell if something's broke on that car or what made him spin out. And if he loops it out again, he'll probably know exactly what the problem is. But he is back on the hammer, and yeah, now you can see he's smoking. There's got to be something broke on the suspension on the rear of that car.
I think he's got something broken. It doesn't look like a motor problem because he was able to keep it running and get out of the way of traffic. And it looks like something has dropped down. Maybe a flat or maybe a rear suspension link is broken. Yeah, something's broken in the right rear of that car. So I imagine we'll see Jeremy Crozet retire, but then again, Jeremy may just stay out there and be a tough guy.
Yeah, well, yeah, let's ask him what the deal is. We can get Jeremy Crozet on the radio and find out what the problem is as he looped it out, got back under power, continued on the racetrack. Let's try and get him, John.
Hey, Jeremy, this is John and Rob up in the Speedcast booth. What's going on, man?
Hey, John, I think I got some sort of mechanical. I think I just had 2 big slides and, okay, yeah, I'm going to be losing something. So that's got to be my problem. I'm going to get off driver's line right now.
Okay, Jeremy, sorry to see your Iron Man run in this way, and get back safe to the pits, buddy, and we'll see you this evening for a steak and a beer.
Thanks, guys.
So unfortunately for him, a problem on the rear end of that race car, and we mentioned he won the Spec Z National Championship, the first ever Spec Z National Championship earlier today, and then picked up a national championship yesterday here at Mid-Ohio in Honda Challenge 2. So his, as you mentioned, Ironman run comes to an end as we see the 777 Michael Weber leading PTF now, working his way through Keyhole. Weber won Thursday night, finished Thursday afternoon, finished second on Friday afternoon, driver out of Illinois.
And he's got about a 15-second gap back to second place Cale Phillips and third place Tony Lee, and I believe he's also reset track records here for PTF.
So Michael Weber continues to lead, a big lead here in PTF. Stay with us. We're going to take a break. When we come back, more racing here at the NASA Championships. Welcome back to the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course for the 2012 NASA Championships presented by Toyo Tires. John Lindsay and Rob Clipper with the call is we continue on here. About 20 minutes left in our final National Championships race of the weekend. We'll crown 5 national champions here. Performance Touring B, C, D, E, and F.
Looks like that's our Performance Touring D leader that was leading that pack. Joshua Allen, a member of the Robert Davis Racing and the Mothers Polishes Waxes Cleaner team. And he is putting on a good show there, but he's only got 1.2 seconds on number 64, Eric Ross, who's second place now in Performance Touring D.
I believe that's Xavier Calderon there in that black 9 car. Working down the back straightaway.
There we see Allen going into the Madness Complex. Looks like he is followed by number 8, which I believe is one of our Performance Touring F cars, perhaps.
Number 8, Kevin Bohm, PTC.
No, maybe I called that wrong. It couldn't have been 8. That's impossible.
That's impossible.
Inconceivable.
And on the front straightaway, crossing the stripe.
That's Kevin Bohm right there.
The 08 car.
He's currently second place in PTC, so Emilio Cervantes now. You can see the Super Miata there now has its lights on. It's telling people I'm coming through. You put the lights on Le Mans style.
So
and Emilio Cervantes.
Yep, now out in front of Kevin Bohm there in PTC, the 49 car.
Emilio has managed to smoke off a 1:36.920 lap time, as we indicated earlier. I believe that is a lap record here for the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course.
Ran third Thursday afternoon and won in the qualifier on Friday here at Mid-Ohio. As he makes his way up and through Madness. We move to the Number 97 car working down into, I believe that's
Mike Rose from the
Rose,
Southern California team KTM Racing, currently running second in Performance Touring E, that first gen RX-7. Mike Rose. Again, back to seeing, big looper, and that was number 35 there, Kevin Leclerc. Big looping. He's going to go around. He has something broken there.
Yeah, you can see a little smoke on the left rear there as we had that tight shot.
Yeah.
Kevin Leclerc was running in the second spot there in PTB.
Yeah, it looks like something's broken back there. We can see something hanging off the right rear of that car. Looks like it's gotten real squirrely. Something is broken. He's starting to get smoke. That's probably tire smoke from whatever broken suspension link that it is. He's had, we checked in with control just now. He's had multiple on and offs, and he probably will be retiring here with heartbreak for Kevin Leclerc. He was running really strong. Eddie Sadauskas now in first in PTB. So Kevin Leclerc is off with a mechanical failure.
And that should move the 332 of Steve Walker into second there in PTB. As we go back up to Kevin Boehm in the 08, currently second in PTC, trying to run down Emilio Cervantes in the 49, the orange 49. There's our good friend Anders Shablom in the big yellow Ford Mustang.
Looks like he is right behind Eddie Sadauskas, our leader in the PTB class, as they come up on one of the lap traffic cars there.
You can really see how much deeper he can blow that thing in the corner there, heading into a madness, or maybe it just looks like he drives it in deeper. A big heavy Mustang out there.
Well, and Anders is on more of a street-based tire, if I remember correctly, so he's got to be working those pretty hard right now. And again, it's a question of mass. A lighter car like that, you can certainly throw it into the corner a lot deeper. Not as much mass to stop, but again, the Mustang could have bigger brakes, but knowing the prep level of that car for the CMC class, they don't have really big brakes.
So as they work their way through Thunder Valley into the carousel, time winding down here in our final national championship race of the day, of the weekend, I should say, here at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Just around 13 minutes left to go in this race. Anders Shablom, the 65X car, racing in PTC here, a two-time CMC Camaro Mustang Challenge national champion.
Interesting story, Rob. Last year, the car that was supposed to carry Anders' car back to Michigan, or the trailer, I should say, that was supposed to carry his car back to Michigan, broke. Car still had license plates on it, so they put the other race car on the trailer, and they could not load Anders' car, so he drove it back home from the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course back to Michigan. So CMC car is still pretty close to factory. It's comfortable enough you could drive it home. Here he comes. He's coming around. Eddie Sadauskas used the big power there to get by. And Anders Shablom now in front of Eddie Sadauskas, again in different classes, but this may give Anders the chance to start chasing down the PTC leaders there.
Yeah, Emilio Cervantes doing a great job there, and Sadauskas leading PTB right now in that 707. So he will continue to lead, and Shablom will continue to run in that third spot, trying to chase the 08 of Kevin Boehm and the 49. There he is of Emilio Cervantes. A lot of cars around that 49 car right now as he works his way through the carousel. See the 47 car there as he gets by on the front straightaway. Back down into turn at number 1. That is your PTC leader, Emilio Cervantes, there in that orange 49 Miata. You can really see how much deeper he can drive that car into the corner there, entering the keyhole turn.
He's really doing a great job. I think he's starting to put a little bit of a gap. We will check our scoring results here and see how big the gap that Emilio has managed to accrue here over second place. Well, you know, it's only 4 seconds, so he's only 4 seconds in front of Kevin Boehm, so he has to keep going, trying to put some slower cars in between him and Kevin Boehm, using that strategy that we've seen of using the slower cars in the field as a little bit of a pick and a little bit of a strategic element here in our Performance Touring C National Championship race.
So as it sits right now, as here is Kevin Boehm slowly reeling them in. You mentioned 4 seconds. We'll have to see what it is here the next time by at the line as he heads underneath the Honda Bridge into Thunder Valley.
It looks like Emilio has slowed down a little bit. His last lap time was a 1:38.561. But interestingly, Kevin Boehm ran a 1:38.232 and Anders Schablom ran a 1:38.210. So Emilio may be getting a little tired, but he's going to have to get back on the horse if he's going to keep that championship win position for PTC, the top step on the podium. And
it looked like only one car now separates Cervantes and Boehm here as they come off the final turn to the front straightaway. I believe it is the straight 65 car of Andrew Salzano in PTD that's in between those two cars. So we'll have to see if Boehm can reel in the 49, as you mentioned, a little bit quicker. And he's using up the racetrack as much as he can to try and run down that 49 car.
So Boehm right now is 4.4 seconds behind Emilio Cervantes. And Anders Schablom is 11.57 seconds behind Emilio Cervantes, which puts him about 7 seconds behind Kevin Boehm. Boehm and Schablom are both running kind of the same lap time, so it may be hard for Anders to catch up. But it looks like Kevin might have a shot at Emilio. Emilio gets stuck in some traffic, or God forbid we have a full course yellow, and all of a sudden they could be right together again. And ooh, looking like Boehm was stepping out a little bit. He had a little wiggle to the left there as he went under braking for the Madness Complex.
Around 10 minutes left to go in this national championship. We mentioned earlier Kevin Boehm ran second both of the qualifying events earlier this week. On Thursday, second to Schablom, and on Friday, second to Cervantes. So those three cars have been the class of the field here in PTC all week long. I don't know if he's going to have enough time to run down Cervantes unless we get a caution, or if Cervantes, you know, makes a pretty big mistake. They're both running pretty good laps at this point. You know, you mentioned the times, and you can really see that Boehm's using up the racetrack and using up the tires and the car to try and run down the 49. As we go back up to the 27X car, the battle here for PTD. I believe that's Joshua Allen there in the 27X, leading PTD at this point. The red car.
Getting chased down by Eric Ross right now. It looks like Ross's last lap time was a 1:39.299, and Allen had a 1:40.402. So Ross almost a second quicker on their last lap by the stripe. So Joshua is going to have to start worrying about Eric Ross filling his mirrors and maybe taking away that top step on the podium from him.
Well, they each won a qualifying race this past week, so they get around here in a hurry. And the battle heating up for PTD, and lap time's pretty close, about half a second quicker.
Right in there, and it looks like Ross slowed down on the last lap. He went down to a 1:41.308 compared to Allen's had about half second quicker, 1:40.723.
So as they race back into the keyhole area here at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, Eric Ross running second, PTD, that black 64. Driver from right here in Ohio.
And he's making a big time right there on Allen. So VTEC must have just kicked in.
Yeah, well, it's going to get exciting here in a second. Joshua Allen, the 27X, your leader, has his rear view mirror full
here he comes.
of Eric Ross, taking a peek to the inside, and not a good enough run to make a move heading into Madness here. The right rear tire up in the air all the way around that corner.
He had some three-wheel motion, so he's definitely getting it. He's trying to run down Joshua Allen for that lead.
Through the Honda Bridge, they'll head into Thunder Valley, nose to tail, about a half a car length separates 1 and 2. About 6 minutes left to go in this national championship race. If you're just joining us here on SpeedcastTV.com, final event of the weekend here at the 2012 NASA Championships presented by Toyo Tires. The battle on the track now for the lead in Performance Touring D. Joshua Allen, the red 27X, Eric Ross, the black 64 as they head into the carousel turn.
And this is quite a battle. Again, two very different formulas of cars. Looks like Kevin Leclerc is still out there, and they are coming up on him now. So we will see how that works out as they encounter a little bit of slower traffic. I guess Kevin's failure wasn't bad enough to take him completely off the track, but they are coming up on him, and we will see if the VTEC power there, the Honda style, will be able to run down Joshua Allen as we come out of the keyhole turn onto the back straight and into Madness. What's your prediction, Rob?
Well, I don't know. Leclerc is running second right now, and he wants to keep going as fast as he can. He's got these guys right behind him, and I don't know if the 64 can reel him in. He gets a good run here down the back straightaway, but just didn't seem like it was enough the last time to make a move heading into Madness.
Ooh, I think it's
he
a
could
drag race.
could make a liar out of me here as he goes from the outside to the inside. Allen shuts the door as they head up Madness.
You can see it's so tough to make an offline pass there. If you do, yes, you might get it, but then you're going to lose the speed up over the hill that you may have gained, the position you may have gained, and it's all for naught.
And again, right in front of this battle is Kevin Leclerc running second to Sadauskas in PTB. So he holds on to second, kind of all by himself on the racetrack. And the battle right behind him is for the lead in Performance Touring D. Joshua Allen, the red 27X, and Eric Ross in the black red numeral, number 64.
And they are now around Leclerc. He may have pulled over, seen that battle coming, and said, go on by, guys. I got other work to do here. Although it might have been pretty cool if he would have kept going and one or the other of these guys would have used that big Acura sedan to punch a hole in the wind.
Well, I'm sure Eric Ross would have liked Leclerc to stay in front of the 27 car, and then now it pretty much comes down to the driver. You got closing minutes, and Ross now off the course in turn one, drives it in deep. Jumping around, taking the scenic route, the off-road route, back onto the racetrack.
That looked like a 64 Impala,
Holy
not
cow.
a Honda Civic, man.
Man, he had that rear end was only like 2 feet off the ground, bouncing around the grass, back on into keyhole.
Someone's going to need the chiropractor this evening, my Lord.
Well, unfortunately, he loses a lot of ground to Joshua Allen, but fortunately, back onto the racetrack, doesn't really lose any position, still running in second, but wow. What a crazy turn of events right there.
Well, but he was cool under fire, because if he would have lifted, if he would have said, he would have been out of there.
The 777 on the racetrack, Michael Weber, I believe leading PTF over Walter Carlos, Cale Phillips, Tony Lee, and Melissa Davis, your top 5 in Performance Touring F, as he makes his way through turn 1 and back into the keyhole area. Right in front of him, cars going 3 wide into keyhole. Weber there in the 777, we mentioned, out of Illinois, who won on Thursday, ran second in the qualifying event on Friday afternoon.
Looks like Mike Rose is going back by Michael Weber. Weber right now has a 15-second lead over second place Walter Carlos in Performance Touring F.
And you mentioned Mike Rose, the number 97, racing in PTE, and I believe that's Eric Waddell, our leader in PTE, now in front of Mike Ross and the Team KTM number 97. So Waddell out front there underneath the Honda Bridge in the 133.
So Mike Rose is trying to catch back up to Eric Waddell there for the Performance Touring E first place.
Another driver from right here in the Buckeye State won the qualifier on Friday. Out in front, looking for a national championship here. Mike Rose second. Xavier Calderon in that third spot. Minutes winding down here in our final event of the weekend. About 2 minutes left. So here shortly, we should see the white flag coming out. As you still see the 133 of Eric Waddell working through turn number 1, heading into the keyhole area.
It looks like Anders Schablom just got a little bit of warning for too much off-roading from our officials here. So he'll have to dial it back a little bit, but he is still running hard, and you got to respect that, getting a shaken black there for being off too much. That means he's really trying, and those street tires are screaming for mercy.
And Schablom running right now third in PTC behind Kevin Bohm and Emilio Cervantes, which is who we're looking at here in the 49. The Miata heading back up into Madness. Running some pretty quick lap times, and it has about a 9-second lead over second place Kevin Bohm.
And then there's another 10 seconds or so, actually more, another 10 seconds back to Anders Schablom. So PTC is starting to shake out a little bit here in the final stages. I can see our starter from our vantage here starting to caress his white flag lovingly. So I think we are going to have a white flag this time by for our overall leader.
And the 49 comes off the final turn to, or nope, not yet, heading through Carousel. Mentioned California driver. We see him in the Southern California ranks and the Northern California ranks, leading the points there in PTC and NorCal region. As the white flag comes out, John, 1 lap to go. Emilio Cervantes getting it done, heads into turn 1 for the final time here at Mid-Ohio.
Well, he's proving he's got the sprint race chops now as well as the endurance racing chops, and it's really nice to see the Super Miata out there really dominating in Performance Touring C with a new lap record today and a very nice performance from Emilio Cervantes.
49 car working through the keyhole area down the back straightaway. Kevin Bohm still runs second. Anders Schablom, after getting the black flag, the shaken black flag for running off the racetrack a handful of times, still in the 3rd spot. Dennis Holloway in 4th. That is PTC, as you still see Cervantes out front, overall leader and PTC leader.
And we just got notification from our timing and scoring staff that Emilio Cervantes, guess what he just did? He reset the lap record again with a 1:36.432. That is what I call a dominating performance in Performance Touring C.
It just goes to show you not only how good a driver he is, but how good a car that he has and how he has kind of saved that car this entire race, because he did it, you know, on the second to last lap.
That's pretty awesome to reset the track record on the second to last lap in a very competitive race. Wow, good job, Emilio. We're proud of you.
Through Thunder Valley into the carousel turn for the final time here at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. A right-hander followed by a left-hander onto the front straightaway. Checkered flag will wave, and Emilio Cervantes will pick up the overall win here and the PTC win at Mid-Ohio. The national championships for the 49. So a good run for Emilio Cervantes to pick up the win. PTE, the number 9 car. Xavier Calderon, nice shot of him as, again, the checkered flag comes out. For all the drivers making their way across the stripe, Calderon will cross it there in the 9 car.
And Eddie Sadowskis with the win in PTB. That's Joshua Allen we're following for the potential win there in Performance Touring D if he can keep it together for these last couple of corners. Coming into the carousel turn, number 27X, a member of that Mothers, Polishes, Waxes, Cleaners, Robert Davis Racing Team. Joshua Allen here coming around for the final time on the carousel turn for his race and his weekend here at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Does he take the victory? Yes, he does. Wow. Congratulations to Joshua Allen. We actually have a Joshua on our Samson Racing Network here. Should we talk to Joshua, find out how it went? What do you say, Rob?
Absolutely.
Hey Joshua, this is John Lindsay and Rob Klepper in the Speedcast TV booth. Congratulations on your big win. How did it go? Oh dear, Rob.
So excited, he's at a loss for words.
It's the sound of silence once again. So we'll we'll call that kind of our last call there. I think all the other folks we had on the net there have already retired or gone off. We did have a good conversation with Jeremy Grisette there.
Saw the 64 of Eric Ross there for a moment, coming home in the 2nd spot to Joshua Allen in Performance Touring D. Eddie Sadowskis picking up the win in PTB. Kevin LeClaire ended up in the 2nd spot. Steve Walker jumped up to the podium there. There is the 777, the 777. Michael Weber picking up the win in PTF over Walter Carlos and Cale Phillips. So
I believe Michael also set a new track record. So we were looking at some pretty darn good weather here, and we had a lot of discussions about it, and we saw records fall in our time trial classes and multiple other classes here this weekend. So kind of a magic weekend here at Mid-Ohio for our final time next year off to the Miller Motorsports Park in fabulous Tooele, Utah.
That's absolutely right, just outside of Salt Lake City. But Emilio Cervantes, man, laying down a new track record, the second to last lap. I mean, normally that happens about halfway through the race, but he's laying it down the second to last lap, and it just goes to show you that these guys continuously try and get faster and faster and faster. I mean, he had a huge lead out on the racetrack, but he was still turning good laps. He kept the car under control, kept his tires underneath him, and he made it happen. So just a big win for him, and more impressively, lay down the new NTR there towards the late stages of the race. So let's look at some of the results, or all of the results, I should say, here in our final national event of the weekend. We mentioned Emilio Cervantes picking up the win in PTC. We'll go to PTB and move down a little bit. The 707 of Eddie Sadauskas picking up the win there in PTB. We mentioned there is Emilio there picking up the win in the overall win in the 49 in PTC. Eddie Sadauskas gets the win in PTD. Joshua Allen in PTD gets the win in the 27X, followed by Eric Ross, Ben Anderson, Mark Domo, Andrew Salzano. And PTE, Eric Waddell, we mentioned him a little bit there during the race, doing a great job. Mike Rose comes home second, and Xavier Calderon with Marcelo Vine, Jonathan Miller, rounding out your top 5 there in PTE. And Michael Weber, we saw that silver 777 picking up the win in the Performance Touring F National Championship race. Walter Carlos, Cale Phillips, Tony Lee, Melissa Davis, your top 5 there for Performance Touring F. So another great national championship. All 5 national champions making their way over to the podium in victory lane, and with that, we'll throw it down to Jeremy Scott.
And Rob, we got the first of the 5. Eric Waddell, your winner in PTE. Congratulations. I like that big smile on your face. It's got to feel good.
That was a great win. It felt great.
All right, let's talk about the race. A lot of mixed cars in this PTD through F class, or PTB through F class. How do you manage faster traffic? And you're somewhere right in the middle.
You just got to keep your eyes on your mirrors, and everybody else is doing the same. So it really isn't that bad. Everybody's paying attention, and everything worked out.
Well, congratulations. Anyone you want to thank?
I want to thank Myers Motorsports, my sponsors, my crew. They couldn't have done it without them. It was fantastic, and especially my wife.
Congratulations, Eric. Eric Waddell is first 5 champions of Performance Touring. We're going to get the other 4 guys.
Well, thanks a lot, Jeremy, and yeah, great job by Eric there in Performance Touring E to pick up the national championship. I mentioned another driver from right here in the Buckeye State. Finished up 6th on Thursday in his qualifying event and won on Friday, so he was all set for today's national championship.
Great racing, Rob, all the way through. We saw I would say in every letter of the alphabet here, we saw incredible battles. Emilio showing his chops as an endurance driver, turning in a lap record on the last couple.
So as we near the end of the day here, the final day of competition at the 2012 NASA Championships presented by Toyo Tires. You mentioned next year we'll be off to Utah, back at the Miller Motorsports Park, as we took 2 years off of Mid-Ohio at Miller Motorsports Park, and now we're 2 years off from Miller to go back. So is that the kind of the plan here? Every 2 years we're going to go back and forth?
That's kind of the plan, Rob, but we will see where we end up for 2014, as that's all still up in the air.
Sounds good. Let's get it back down to Jeremy Scott.
Thanks, Rob. And if Honda Challenge wasn't tough enough, Eddie decided to do Performance Touring. Congratulations, you're the winner of Performance Touring B. It's got to feel sweet.
Oh yes, it does. It was one of the toughest races so far. Yeah, it's definitely a run for my money, I would say. You know, I want to thank all the sponsors, you know, Choose Your One Motoring and Who's Your Tire for making it happen, and what is it, Hasport and Avid Racing, and I don't even know who else. I guess head's not working with. Well, you know, my parents definitely, and everyone who supported me and got me out here, you know, for all the support, and Rita Trucking, Leaders Trucking, and everyone who made it happen for me. So thank you, everybody, and hope we'll make it happen next year again.
Normally you're running with the Performance Touring cars in the Honda Challenge group. What was it like running as a Performance Touring competitor?
Well, it definitely felt a lot better because I get to take the ballast out and put some nice Hoosiers on, and it definitely felt a lot better, and it's definitely a challenge. But those PTV, they got some nice cars there, and they're really quick, so it's definitely a tough drive. So,
well, congratulations, eh? Have a good rest of the season.
Thank you, sir.
All right, guys, we got 3 more champions to go. Let's go ahead and head it back up to Rob.
And thank you, Jeremy and Eddie Sadaskas there picking up the win in PTB. So national championship there. And, just a great race, a great weekend all around for all the races that we saw. We kicked off the weekend yesterday morning, a little bit of Mother Nature in the area and a little slippery racetrack. We got rid of that. The sun came out and dried it up. And since then, other than a little sprinkle earlier this morning at practice, it's just been a great weekend here at Mid-Ohio.
It really has, Rob, and I wanted to give a special thanks to my protege and Assistant Chief Divisional Director and also National Event Manager, Will Falls. Will put this whole thing together, has been the real oil keeping the machine well lubricated and running here, and Will has just done a fantastic job. Interesting to note that Will was the first NASA teen racer ever, and now he's progressed to the National Event Manager and Assistant Chief Divisional Director, and hopefully someday I plan to hand the reins over to this fine young man, and I can sit on the beach and drink Mai Tais.
Is that the drink that you're going to have on the beach, Mai Tai?
On the beach, yeah.
On the beach?
Look, if I'm down in Mexico, it might be a margarita, but recently me and my family took a trip to Hawaii, and the Mai Tai seemed to be the drink du jour.
Depending on your geographical setting is how you decide what drink you're going to have.
Different libations for different locations, my friend.
Well, again, a great final national championship race there as we crowned our final 5 national champions, all in the performance touring division of the National Autosport Association. As we mentioned earlier, for complete results, you can go online to nasachampionships.com. Let's get it back down to Jeremy Scott because, Jeremy, Emilio Cervantes put on a clinic here today in PTC.
Yeah, Corey, if you can hear him point to me. Thanks, Rob. I'm here with Emilio Cervantes. Overall winner. He had just a lightning fast car. Let's talk about that.
It is a good car. The Mazda Miata is a really balanced package. It does a lot with little tires. We have 205s. We have some of the smallest tires in the field here, but it gets more out of them than most cars do, and I think that's the secret.
Let's talk about your race. PTC winning overall. That's got to be huge.
It's huge for me. It's my first time here at Mid-Ohio. It's my first time at NASA Nationals. This car was built last year, expressly built for the Thunderhill 25 hours NASA holds in California. We won that last year, and it's really built for that. It's not really a sprint car. It's got a few little things that are really kind of hurt it here for sprint racing, but we managed to pull it off. Again, I think balance is the key, just having a car that gets the most out of its tires. You know, it doesn't have the most power. Almost everybody here has more power than me, except for the PTE guys, you know. So, I think that's what did it.
And that's just got to show the strength of the 949 racing crew to build such a quick car.
I think so. I got to thank John Wing, is the guy who built the car, and really my entire team. Really only had one guy here with me. It's Tom Probert. He's our crew coordinator. He's the guy who coordinates all our team activities. We have about 25 crew that we take to for our big endurance races, and we have like 4 cars. So none of those guys were here, but thanks to all you guys and all the sponsors, Mazda for the support program, NASA for putting on the program all together, Carbotech and AST Suspension for building the Zeta shock that we put on these things.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Rob, back to you.
Thank you, Jeremy Scott, and he's right, a very dominating performance by Emilio Cervantes here today.
Unbelievable. I still am just blown away by that lap record right at the end of the race. That never happens. That's the first time I've ever seen that kind of performance, but I guess he's just, warming up this year. He'll start with some national championships and lap records here, and then he'll go to the 25-hour again and run the table there.
So Jeremy Scott continuing over in victory lane. Again, folks, for the official results, NASAchampionships.com for everything NASA, National Autosport Association, online at NASAProRacing.com, and head over to MidOhio.com and check out everything that they do here at this racetrack. And John, we talked about it before. You can come out here and you can learn how to drive a race car.
You can. Our local NASA chapter, the Great Lakes chapter, run by my dear friend Dave Royce. You can come out 3 times a year. We have events here, but let's not forget that also the Mid-Ohio School has an excellent school where you can do performance driving here with their very talented crew of instructors, and also they have teen survival programs. And they have a really cool skid car program. I don't know if you've ever tried one of those, but it's a car with different outriggers mounted on it, and it can basically pick up one axle of the car at any time and make you spin. Teaches you how to recover from a spin and how to handle the car in very tricky situations. So don't forget about the Mid-Ohio School as well as our own in-house NASA program. Very accessible, very easy to do. So come on and see us anytime here at Mid-Ohio.
You can follow Mid-Ohio on Twitter at Follow Mid-Ohio. You can also see them on Facebook, like them on Facebook at facebook.com/Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Let's get it back down to Victory Lane and Jeremy Scott.
Thank you, Rob, and I'm here with a driver who's normally known as a time trialer, but Michael Weber secures his first PTF. I screwed myself up there. First PTF title. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Got to be great getting that Nissan back. I guess been plagued with problems with it all season long.
Yep. Yeah, we were at MAM a few weeks ago, broke a hub on it, and then we were at Autobahn 2 weeks after that, broke a hub on it again. So it's been a tough battle to get in here, but it's here. It's running a lot better now, so I'm doing really well.
All the parts held up when it counted the most. Let's talk about your race, though. You went out front quick in the PTF class.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, right off the bat, the third place guy got me on the start and held it through most of the first lap, but some slower traffic actually got in front of him through turn 1, so I was able to go on the outside of turn 1, and after that I was able to pull away and never see him after that. So it was good.
Well, congratulations. Great to see you up here, and it's great to see you finishing in first.
Thank you.
Guys, back to you in the booth.
Well, thank you, Jeremy Scott, and yeah, Michael Weber again doing a great job there in the 777 to get the win in Performance Touring F.
Yeah, he had a great drive. He was right out there. I believe that was a Infiniti G20, a close cousin of my good friend, the Nissan Sentra, with that SR20 motor in it, probably. So great little car to go out and hoon around here, and took home a Performance Touring F National Championship. Well done.
And he had a really good week. You know, he won the qualifier on Thursday and finished second to Walter Carlos on Friday. So 2 wins in a second. That's a pretty good national championships for you.
I'm going to say that's not too shabby.
Not too shabby. There's the website. You can see it, midohio.com. Check it out. You know, if you don't want to come out here and learn how to race or drive a race car, you certainly need to get out here to just watch a race. I mean, it's a beautiful facility here. So much going on. So many scenic areas to sit and watch different corners and see how these cars get around this racetrack and just how fast they do get around this racetrack. You know, we talk a lot about sitting on the hill up by Madness, but there's a lot of cool areas to sit and watch racing here at Mid-Ohio.
It is. It's a really great spectator track, and also we should mention that there are opportunities always to get involved with any sanctioning body that's at the track. NASA, we always welcome volunteers. You can work in an official position. You can have some pretty cool exposure, get access to areas that the general public normally would not get to access. Mid-Ohio, I know, has a whole bunch of different opportunities for folks to get involved here at the track. So if you're a racing fan, come on out. Just ask us. You can always find my contact information on the main NASA website at nasaproracing.com. Drop me a note anytime. I can hook you up with the right people. You know, this is kind of an old school reference, but I do have a pretty deep Rolodex, and we really welcome everybody because our philosophy is that we should expose the sport to more people, and shoot, it gives us more people to sit around the campfire with on Saturday night.
And in addition to your deep Rolodex, a first-generation iPhone.
Yes.
I will have to bring that up because you just don't see that too often.
Well, you know, I'm old school. I got an old school air-cooled Porsche at home, so you know, I like to keep it classic.
Keep it classic. Let's get it back down to Victory Lane and Jeremy Scott.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with Joshua Allen, PTD winner, and Josh, that was a great race, great battle near the middle of the race. Let's talk about it.
Oh, it was an incredible battle. I had Eric Ross on me the whole time. We swapped lead a few times, him in front and then me in front. I got some lucky breaks. There was some oil on the track, and he caught it, and I managed to get through him on the inside on one, and then I think I managed to hold him for the rest of the race. But he was on me the whole time. There were places where I was faster and he was faster, and ultimately, you know, it just worked out in my favor.
Now, you're one of the very few racers that has a new gen MX-5 on the track. Most of them have the Miatas, but why did you decide to go to the MX-5?
Well, it's a great car. I mean, for handling, I'm not sure that there's much better, you know, in its class. In fact, I'm sure there's nothing better in its class. It's a lightweight car. It's easy on tires. It's not quite as powerful as the other cars out there, but it makes up for it in braking and handling. And also, I'm really interested in getting into the MX-5 Cup, and so that just seemed like the right car to get started in.
Well, you got a nice foot forward. You're eligible for the Mazda Shootout.
Yeah, and that's exactly why I came out here. I really had to win this championship so that I could get a shot at that shootout, and that's my goal.
Well, good luck out there, and congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Okay. And one thing is, this is one of the greatest championships of all of amateur racing. It's great here that we're back at Mid-Ohio, but next year we go out to Miller Motorsports Park, and that's going to be a challenge for a lot of racers because it's flat and it's fast. Here the challenge was trying to negotiate the technicality of Mid-Ohio. It's a very beautiful course, and sad to see it go, but excited to be out at Miller Motorsports Park next year for the NASA Championships. Once again, a big thanks to everyone here at NASA for allowing me to do this. A big thanks to our quarter working staff here, the Erie Communications, and thanks to Rob and John for being in the booth and all the Speedcast crew. Guys, going to hand it back up to you, but have a great year, everybody. Stay safe.
Well, thanks a lot, Jeremy Scott, and a fantastic job down there on pit lane in the paddock area, and of course on the podium with all the winners, chasing those guys around because they jump out of those cars and they want to run over there and get the hardware. And Jeremy Scott does a great job each and every day here at the NASA Championships to hunt those guys down and get awarded with them. So we certainly appreciate it. John, the 7th annual event's in the books.
In the books, Rob. I can't believe we've notched another championship event here. Off to Miller Motorsports Park. As Jeremy said, I also want to extend a thanks to the Lake Erie Communications workers, the corner marshals out there keeping us safe, the Mid-Ohio safety crew, working hard all weekend, towing these drivers out of trouble, and some rescues, and also all of our NASA officials. We have a crew of over 100 folks that come from every corner of the country, volunteer officials coming out here to join us, also working hard in the regions all year. We can't do it without them, and of course, thanks to all our families at home. Particularly my family, my wife Callie, my kids Lauren and James. Thanks for letting Dad come enjoy the weekend here at Mid-Ohio and hang out with my good buddy Rob Klepper.
And we would like to say thanks also to Sean Sampson from Sampson Racing Communications for hooking us up so that we can talk to these drivers during the event, which I have to say was probably the coolest part of the whole weekend. Definitely a good deal there.
A whole new dimension. Sampson Racing Communications, of course, NASA's official communications partner. I've known Sean for a long, long time. He's hooked us up with radios, and he went through a lot of work. He was flying all over the paddock trying to get radio frequencies dialed in and get drivers on the line and setting up a big boom antenna here on the control tower. So really, really happy to have Sean along for the ride here. And thanks again to everybody involved, sponsors, team members, shoot, the whole enchilada. We are very thankful and very happy to have closed another NASA Championships here at Mid-Ohio.
And also a big thanks to Dave Belingett for being over here and throwing all the stats at us all day long and throwing peanuts at us to get us up to speed and let us know what's going on. Did a great job. We certainly appreciate it. Folks, that is going to wrap up the 2012 NASA Championships presented by Toyo Tires right here on SpeedcastTV.com. Thank you so much for watching. For Jeremy Scott, John Lindsay, my name is Rob Klepper. We will see you next year at Miller Motorsports Park.